Hey everybody, I've been a lot of people asking me what kind of tools I use when I ink. Here's my brush that I use. It's a Winsor Newton Series 7 miniature. It's number 0. Now the reason I use a 0 compared to everybody else who uses 1 or 2 or 3 is mainly because when I first entered the old brush arena, I was not sure what size brush to get, so when I ordered from Dick Blick, the only brush that they had available at the time was a 0. So I decided to bite the bullet and just try it out. I thought it was too small when I first started out, but it works well now. I'm really happy with it. Never had any problems with it. It's great. Some people like using bigger brushes, preferably, for the style I do. I prefer the small ones. It's for me. For people who use nib, it's pretty much the same. You're still dipping as much, you're still flicking as much, but with this, it still holds the same ink. And I can get pretty much the same size lines, sometimes finer, depending how you load your brush and clean it up. A couple other things about the ink I use. It's the ink I use. It's Cali. It's tried a lot of different inks, like probably pretty much everything on the market, from Staedtler to Winsor Newton to everything else. And I find that this one is it flows really well, right? Doesn't clog. It's really well. It's got a 4-star density, so it's pretty much matte black, no shine at all. So if you're looking for it, I highly recommend it. It's really well. Okay. Next one is the only other things I use sometimes. You'll see me once in a while using them in a video. Will be the Copic multi-liners, but I'll just use it for borders and speed lines occasionally, some text stuff if it calls for it, but usually I like to rule everything out with a brush because I got such a steady hand and I can throw my lines straight. And I'll get into that sooner down the road of the videos here. But yeah, the one thing that everybody doesn't know about is that these things are refillable. You can refill them yourself. You don't need to go out and spend money on the cartridges. Just pull it out. Inside you'll see almost like a sponge. So all you need is just this same premise as a Zippo lighter, if anybody's interested. So you just go out and get your little dropper, or your little dropper bottle, and just drop drops inside, and it'll save you, I guess they're $3-4 a pop for buying cartridges. And it works well. Just try to get a nice flowing ink. It'll save you money and time. Last thing you want to do is be in the middle of a project and one of your pens go dead, right? So yeah, a couple things I use for ink. I do not use right out of the bottle. I just go out and buy these things. You can get them at Michael's or any other art store. I buy them in packs of 10 for $1.99. Just get a couple drops, put them inside, right, and it just goes on from there. It's a lot. It'll save your brushes, because the last thing you want to do is get dried ink inside your steel fennel of your brushes, and it'll just start fraying and destroy your brushes. So try not to dip your brush right into the ink well. It'll big hassle. What else I got here? Rulers. Just typical 45s and straight edge rulers. One of the other things I wanted to show you was the paper I use. Everybody's asking me what paper I use. I've tried pretty much everything from the Strathmores to everything else, but since I don't use nib on my paper, it's actually really fine. And anybody who's used to the smoothness of the 500 series from Strathmore, the plate version. That's what I use. It's pretty much the same. It'll save you lots and lots of money. It's the Hammer Mill color copy paper. You can buy it at Kinko's or anywhere else. You can get a whole ream of this. It's the 80-pound cardstock. It's if you've watched my videos, you know that it doesn't bleed. It doesn't. Nice crisp lines and everything. So yeah, you know, save your money. Don't go out and spend $24 on 24 sheets of you know, Strathmore when you can go out and spend $24 on 250 sheets. You know, it's pretty much 2-ply. You know, 2-ply cardstock. You know, it's pretty nice. It's got a really nice finish on it. Holds ink really, really well. And you can go on and ink for hours. You know, and I've had, you know, pieces where I've done complete blackouts and it's, you know, it's no curling. The drawers do ink really, really well. So if you want to save some money, if you're, you know, you can try inking with the nib on it. I'd be careful with it. But it takes Tech Pen really well and brush extremely well. So if you're in the neighborhood and you ever want to go check that out, just go look at it. Hit up Kinko's or pretty much, I don't know, any other supply store would probably carry it. But it's yeah, well worth your weight. Gold. Okay, another thing I wanted to get into was blue lining in Photoshop. I know everybody's been asking me, oh, how do you blue line in Photoshop? Okay, well, alright. Try to focus my camera here. And do multitask 3 things at once. Alright. Okay, so you just go down to, switch this over here for a sec. Just miss that, people. Alright. Good to be there. Alright. This lost my Photoshop here. Oops. Alright, so what you want to do, this is an old Photoshop, so it's like Photoshop 6, but it's the only guy I can get. Okay, what you want to do is just go up here to file. Sometimes you'll find that when you get pictures that they won't be, right, they'll be really, really light. Right, so the easiest way to do that is just go up in here to go to File. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Go to Image. Right. First you want to do is go to Adjust. And go down to Curves. Right. Now come up with a little bar like this. Right. Usually go to the center, right, and just push up. Right, get it down. Right. And it'll darken your image to where you think it's sensible enough. Alright, let's just say, alright, I'll go there. I like my, they're really dark because then it brings out all the detail that some that might have got lost when you first lose it. Okay, so let's just save that, and then you'll go up here to Image. Alright, and then you go to Grayscale. And I'll ask you to discard information, go yes, and go back up here, go to Image again, go to the mode, oops, and then go down to Duotone. It's already got it set for blue line, but anyway, you just click the little box here, and then down here it'll come up, right, it'll come up cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. K for black. And what you want to do is set your cyan for usually, well, most people like 30 or so, but I think it's a little light personally, and I'll go like that. But I like to set it for about 50. And then just make sure that your magenta, your yellow, and your black are all set at 0. Then just hit OK. Alright, and then just hit OK there. And then it'll save all your progress. Alright, and then that's pretty much it. And then you go here for my printer that I got the Monster Brother, which is actually, I highly recommend it. Anybody who goes out and is in this field. I get the all-in-one Brother printer. Highly recommend it. Ink cartridges are cheap. Never had a problem with it. Other than that, yeah, it works really, really well. Okay. Getting back to throwing some lines. Okay, this is a new piece I'm going to be working on right now, which will be David Finch pinup. It's pretty old. It's from 2010. I saw it on the net and I thought I would give it a shot for my portfolio. It's yeah, it's really nice. I've inked David Finch for my portfolio before, and it was, I think it turned out well. I think I got a good reaction from everybody else. So yeah, I'll show you basically a little bit about how I ink, and going along, more videos that I go out, I'll actually show step by step, and I'll get into panel work. Right, I'll show you how to ink panel work and everything like that. But for now, I'll just throw a little bit of lines down here. So here's my ink, and why I do things the way I do. You know, there's inkers out there that'll, you could be, you know, on with inking as a career, or you could just do it personally for fun. For me, it's, well, a little bit of both. You know, when you're first starting out in inking, it's getting the knowledge. You know, it's reading a lot. You know, the easiest way to do it, personally for me, was to go out there and actually watch people ink. If you get the opportunity to watch people ink, that's why I put out this video series, because it's basically everywhere I've ever seen, it's all, you know, everybody's sped up their videos and like that, but I tend to do it in real time, so you can actually watch the person ink and know the strokes that you're getting and why they're there and everything they mean, right? So it's just yeah, falling. Camera down. Sorry, folks. Don't really have a rig for my camera, so it's all just blue tacked on here. So. Okay, well, generally, you know, you start your page. Everybody starts the page differently. I usually, beside me, I got a blue, almost like a wet sponge, right? I use it to clean my brush every time the other good thing to do is when you're using your water to clean your thing, you just put a little bit of detergent in it, as in, you know, you can put shampoo in it or just dish detergent, whatever. Just helps clean your brush. And throwing your lines. I like to separate things. You know, I like to do little halos everywhere, but that's personally just me, right? So you can go really, really thick, really, really thin, right? The good thing about David's work is he's tells you pretty much everything, all the information you want. But every inker is different, right? So every inker will interpret a page different than everybody else. I'm just cleaning my brush. Yeah, I know it's basically a small brush, you know, but to say I'm used to it, so you get some really nice lines. Once you on the other thing is you want to, the way I hold the brush, just take 2 fingers like this, right? Put the brush in between, right? I like to choke up on the brush as much as I can, right? And then put your thumb like this, and you'll find that you can throw lines. You know, like you get into a black area here is that you can get really fine lines, right? And you can just keep going and going and going. It's almost like tech pen lines, right? Until you actually want to vary your line, so you can get really nice lines. It's just all the way you hold it, right? You're basically locking up your hand, right? And then from there, it's just, you know, you get really fine lines, crisp lines. For me, I turn the page a lot because it's just the way I learn. I like to pull my lines towards me, where everybody else is, you know, pull away, right? It was like, you know, throw your lines this way, throw your line, you get more range of motion. But you know, for me, it's just whatever works for you, right? You don't want to go out and do whatever you feel is comfortable, right? And well, personally, it's just whatever, you know, whatever gets the job done, right? Then you'll go in there and show some happy lines in here. Plus the brush, these really nice clean lines. They're all uniform, right? So you can just get really nice lines. I haven't David Finch in a long time, so I just finished the Joe Mad piece, if you've been following. So I'll try to do as many different people as I can. Just so I like to break up the don't want to stick to one person all the time, right? Another thing that's really good is you can just do your stopping. I know people like to do the old pull things, you know, like draw the 2 dots and go, you know, basically, you know, draw your 2 dots and then go there, catch your dots, right? But you know, I find that extremely boring to do, and you're not very likely to do it. So the easiest way that I learned was just basically going out and getting a piece, blue lining it, or if you're fortunate enough to go out and find an inker who has inked a piece and get it online, and then just blue line it, and then basically just trace their lines. And basically that'll teach you line weight and why the line is there and everything else. But you know, later on I'll get it more into depth with that. Let's see how fine and symmetrical the lines can get, right? So I'm just throwing lines here, so there's no bleeding at all on this paper. Nice crisp lines. Right. The other thing you want to do is, once you start showing your stuff at conventions and stuff like that, is the first thing that anybody will ever say is try to vary your line weights as much as possible, right? And try to make your lines, your pull lines here, symmetrical. You know, try to make them all the same size, you know, different size apart, right? Don't you know, other things is bleeding into blacks, right? So like how you get a black here, right? So you'll just start really thin, and as you come into the black, go thicker, right? And you can just black that out, right? Same with here. That's called feathering, right? So creates a thing of depth. Right, and just go right in there, go thicker. Right, let's see. What you want to do is just get that target right. You get nice crisp lines, so right there, you know, there to there. Sorry, I don't have the camera on HD right now. So I want to load it up on my Facebook wall and everything else, but it will be up on my YouTube page. Right. I like to jump around a lot on my page. It's because the ink dries so quick. It's really hard to believe, but it actually does. So I'm not really worried about sticking my hand in wet ink. I also tend to ink really, really fast, so people are like, you know, slow down, but it's just the way I ink. I turn the page a lot and yeah, I don't know whether you guys want to see step-by-step with narration of me doing a page, or you just want to see stuff like this, or if you just want to, you know, shoot me some comments, see what you want to see, and I will do what I can. You know, with life and everything, it's just a little hectic right now, but you know, it's just like everything else. Alright, so with time permitting, and if you have any questions about inking questions, about how to tackle a page or critiques or anything like that, or if you have any questions just in general, just put them in the comments. Just if I really wanted to, I could have this page done. It'd take me, I don't know, about an hour to render the whole page. Rendering is basically just doing everything but the spotting the blacks for me. You know, it's just all line weight, right? Right. So, and then after that, it's the long, boring time of spotting blacks. I know some people like to use the computer for their spotting of the blacks. Obviously, they're more traditional, so I like to tend to do everything traditionally. So just all by hand. I don't know. Personally, it's traditional versus digital. It's like I don't know. Depending on the artist, I guess it's still all. You still need to know all your methods of inking to actually do digital anyway, so you still have to know where all the lines fall, and you still have to have the knowledge of inking. You know, some people like just tracing lines, and that's another one of my beefs too. Is, you know, everybody's like, you know, oh, it's good inking, and you see it all the time, and it's like, well, actually no, you're just tracing. But you know, you could be 99% of the people out there that just go out and tackle a page and it's just basically just tracing what the artist has done, or you can be like the top 1% out there and you could develop your own style, right? You know, like, you know, Joe Weems, Danny Mickey, you know, Jonathan Glapion, these artists have you know, created their own style. You know, you don't even have to look at look for a signature on their covers or their pinups or anything to know that they've done it. Right? It's what stands out between them and every other inker out there, is because they've gone the extra mile and developed their own style. So it's if you could develop your own style, then go ahead. Personally, that's what I'm striving for. I don't want to be the 99%. I want to be the 1%. Right? So. That's basically all I have for now. Right? Like, comment, and share as much as you can, and let me know what you want to see, and we get into textures and foreground, background, and everything else like that. All right? Here, now, signing off.